Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coast News. And as always, we've got some amazing news from different theme parks, rides, attractions and events all over the world. So let's get straight into the news today. Our top story for tonight, Alton Towers have revealed that Duel, the Haunted House Strikes Back, will be transformed into The Curse at Alton Manor for 2023. And this is absolutely fantastic news for this attraction and for Alton Towers as a whole. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, Duel, the Haunted House Strikes Back, as it's now known, The Curse at Alton Manor, is a new attraction, well I say new, that's going to open at Alton Towers in spring 2023. And they're branding it as a new attraction, but this ride has actually existed technically since 1991. Basically, right, it originally opened in March 1992 as the Haunted House. It was designed by John Wardley, and the special effects were actually done by Keith Sparks. And basically, all these special effects, like all traditional special effects, like different types like ghost train rides, of the earlier eras of amusement parks, and it was a huge success when it first opened. It operated normally as the Haunted House for about 11 years, until 2003, when they transformed it into Duel, the Haunted House Strikes Back. They changed a lot of the special effects in the attraction, they gave it a new soundtrack, and they added laser guns to the attraction, making it an interactive experience. However, when it reopened as Duel, the reception from the public was not as good. A lot of people said that it should have just stayed as a traditional ghost train type attraction. And a lot of people will agree that they should have stayed like this. I personally, I wasn't even born when it was known as the original Haunted House, but a lot of people say it was so much better when it was the Haunted House. And obviously last year, Alton Towers confirms that Duel will be closing in September for its final rides, and then it would be closed for refurbishment. They didn't officially confirm this on their social media, however it was quite obvious due to the hints in the queue line. 6th of September, I think. That's when it closed, and then they started teasing it during Scarefest and fireworks. And earlier this week, they actually confirmed that it's going to be transformed into a brand new. They're branding it as the most immersive dark ride attraction ever, known as the Curse at Alton Manor, and it looks to be a much more dark theme than the previous versions of the Haunted House. They're removing the laser guns for a start, and they're bringing back a lot of the old traditional special effects for the Haunted House. It's like smoke and mirrors and things like that. It sounds absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to experience this attraction when it opens in spring 2023. In other news today, Splash Mountain at Walt Disney World has officially closed for a refurbishment, and it will reopen in 2024. And obviously this is very sad news for a lot of Splash Mountain fans who have been at the park have been riding this ride since it first opened. It's actually quite sad for me as well, because I actually went on it when it was in Splash Mountain back in 2019. Basically, if you don't know what's going on, right, it's because Splash Mountain is a water ride located at Walt Disney World in Florida, and it opened a number of years ago, a few decades ago actually. And obviously, since it's been open, it's a clone of it's a very similar layout of the one at Disneyland, in California, and obviously it's been operating for a number of years, very successfully, being one of the main staple attractions of the Walt Disney World and just Disney parks in general. However, a couple of years ago, Walt Disney World themselves actually announced that Splash Mountain at both Disneyland in California and Walt Disney World are going to close to be transformed into a Princess and the Frog themed attraction. So the actual ride system itself will still be there, we're just retheming it all. They're retheming it, and they later confirmed it was going to be called Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And obviously, this change has not really gone down with lots of people, because a lot of people are going to really miss the original Splash Mountain attraction. Obviously, it's too early to judge whether the ride itself is going to be any good because, well, it's not open yet. We've only seen a few concept art images of the attraction. And the actual new version of the attraction looks good, but it will never compare to the original Splash Mountain, in my opinion. But obviously, it still looks like it could be a good attraction. Who knows? Obviously, they confirmed this back in 2020, and since then we've not really heard like loads about it. Apart from I think D23 last year, they confirmed the name of the attraction and when it's going to open, and they said that Splash Mountain will be closing soon. And they recently confirmed Splash Mountain was going to close on the 22nd of January 2023, and they had all the final ride-throughs on it. And obviously, a lot of long-time park fans got their last rides on Splash Mountain until it reopens next year, when it's going to be known as Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Now, obviously, what does this mean for the future of the one at Disneyland? Because that one's still operating now. I think that one will close within the next few months as well, because it just seems inevitable at this point. But obviously, the original Splash Mountain, it will be missed. We'll see what this new Tiana's Bayou Adventure Princess and the Frog attraction is like, and I cannot wait to see what it's like. Also in the news today, Thorpe Park have stated that they will be permanently removing the building for the Soar Alive scare maze. And this is actually kind of really good for this whole just sort of area of the park where it's just been abandoned for all these years. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Soar Alive was a scare maze that operated at Thorpe Park Fright Nights from 2010 until 2018. It is, I believe it's held the record for the longest operating scare maze in any of the UK theme parks. It operated seasonally at Fright Nights events up until 2018 when they opened it in the summer, because basically this attraction is built inside of a former restaurant called the Thorpe Bell, I think it was, which was a boat sat on the lake, literally just off the shore of the island. And because of that, over time, the actual floorboards in the attraction itself are starting to rot, and they can't fix that at all. They can't fix the rotting of the floorboard. So they announced they would be closing the attraction permanently. It's just been sat there abandoned since. But obviously, they also stated recently that whole area, the queue line for it is going to be paved with concrete completely, and that the actual Soar Alive boat will be completely removed. And basically, since 2018, that actual attraction has been completely abandoned, just left to rot or sink, because it's a boat, and somehow, I'm surprised it hasn't sank, to be honest. But the actual path next to it, during Fright Night, since 2021, has actually been used for the Crows of Morecambe Meadow, which is a scare zone attraction. It's one of the best scare attractions they have ever done, honestly. It's absolutely fantastic, heavily themed, and when the crows are there, they're absolutely terrifying. And last year, they actually, for that last year's version of Morecambe Meadow, they actually utilised the old Soar Alive queue line as an extension for Morecambe Meadow, and that was actually really cool, and I wish I'd actually gotten to Fright Nights last year so I could experience that, and that would have been absolutely fantastic. But Thorpe Park actually recently stated on their brand new Thorpe Park Annual Pass Holders group on Facebook that they would be basically flattening the entire queue line, making that area more open, basically placing like picnic benches in the place of the former queue line, and removing the Soar Alive building so you can get like a view of the actual lake itself, which is actually a pretty good idea because it makes the area just feel a lot more open, and you can get a better view of the lake. And obviously, it's really good that they're doing this. But that means that Crows of Morecambe Meadow, if it returns this year, is probably going to be completely different. I wonder how they're going to do this this year when it comes back. Who knows? And finally, in the news today, the track layout for Luna at Liseberg is now complete. And this is a major milestone for Liseberg in Sweden and the new roller coaster. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Luna is a brand new roller coaster located at Liseberg in Gothenburg, Sweden. It is basically, it's a Vekoma family shuttle coaster. However, it's actually the world's tallest and fastest Vekoma family shuttle coaster. I believe it's about 100 feet tall, which, considering it's a family coaster, I thought it's quite extreme if you ask me. I mean, a 100-foot tall family coaster, wow. There's also Expedition Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is 112 feet tall, so there you go. But that's meant to be more of a thrill ride. Anyway, obviously this ride is being built to commemorate Liseberg's 100th anniversary. Yes, that's right, the park itself celebrates its 100th anniversary this season. And to celebrate this, they're building a brand new family roller coaster in a brand new themed area called Luna Park, which that area itself, I remember when it was announced, but I seriously do not remember. Well, I've not actually heard anything about the actual area itself, because the area, the land itself, is basically seems like a steampunk sort of 1920s amusement park area, because obviously it would make sense for the 100th anniversary. But it contains some flat rides and obviously theming in there. But I don't actually know if that area ever got fully built. Now, obviously, I've not seen any videos of it. If you have, then if it has opened, if you've seen it, then let me know in the comments below. The actual land was supposed to open last year, and Luna, the roller coaster, was supposed to be an expansion to that area. But obviously, whether it did actually open or not, because I've not seen the actual land itself, because basically, the Luna roller coaster is supposed to do a sort of go around the whole land itself. The land is supposed to be within the layout of the track, within the boundaries of that whole area. But whether it actually opened, I have no idea. Obviously, if you know if it's actually ever opened or not, let me know in the comments below. But it looks like a great expansion to Luna Liseberg? But what actually has been built is the Luna roller coaster, and the track was recently fully completed. Obviously, it is a shuttle coaster, so it's not a full circuit layout, but the actual track layouts, like the last beyond vertical spike at the end, was fully completed recently. And this is a huge milestone for the park, and I'd imagine testing is going to probably begin within the next few weeks for this attraction. And I'm pretty sure the ride's going to open in April sometime. So I think that's when, or March, I don't know, because that's when Liseberg is going to announce they're going to reopen, and it looks so fantastic, and I can't wait for this attraction to open. So yeah, that is it for this week's episode of Coaster News. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment with a like, see you in the next video. Bye!